Good morning, Year 4. Today's video is all about looking at what you've learned about measurements. We're going to be looking at everything you've learned about area and everything you've learned about perimeter and putting that together. So we're looking at the review today, and you've been doing a fantastic job so far at looking at what is the area and what is the perimeter and thinking about what method you need to use to solve that. So all of this should be a review really. It should just be going over what we've already looked at, but I've picked out a few questions to go through because these ones might be a little bit more challenging. So let's just start off looking at question 1 because it says use the ruler to measure the perimeter of these shapes in centimetres. So I'm looking at the perimeter. I need to look at the vocabulary really carefully today because remember, when I'm finding the perimeter, I'm doing something different than when I'm finding the area. So I'm going to use my ruler. And my tip would be make sure you're starting on the 0, not on the edge of your ruler, otherwise you're going to get an incorrect measurement. So this is a rectangle, so I know that these two lengths will be the same and the width will also be the same. So along the bottom here, I can see that this shape is 3 centimetres, which means it will be exactly the same at the top. I'm not going to measure that. Then I would twist my book round so that I don't have to read upside down. Okay, and then the width is 2 centimetres. So again, I would write this in my book. They're the measurements. Now I need to work out the perimeter, okay? So remember, there's 2 different ways that you could do this. So you could do it by repeated addition. So you could do 3, add 2, add 3, add 2, add 2. There's nothing wrong with that. So you've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that would be 10 centimetres. Or a quicker way would to be, first of all, so I'm putting it in brackets, so I do it first. 3, add 2, and then double it, because you're doing it again, multiply it by 2. So 3 add 2 is 5. 5 multiplied by 2 would give us 10. You get the same answer, okay? This is probably the quicker way, but if you prefer to just add it, absolutely fine. So question 1 then, the perimeter of that shape is 10 centimetres. Okay, so that you're going to carry on with that for those questions. I just wanted to have a look at question 8 because remember, this has given us the length, but it's all a little bit broken up. So this section here is 10 centimetres in length, this bit is 10 centimetres, and this bit is 10 centimetres. So we can't just do 8, add 10, add 10, add 10, and leave that section there, okay? Now I know that if this part is 10 centimetres, then it must be the same at the top. So this is actually 30 centimetres, because 10 add 10 add 10 is 30, 8 stays the same. This whole thing will also be 30 centimetres, because it's a rectangle, and then here will be 8 centimetres as well. So again, let me show you how you could add that together, because remember, you've just found the lengths at the moment, you haven't actually found the perimeter. So you could do 30, add 8, add 30, add 8, nothing wrong with that. So you would get 60, add 16, which would give you 76. Or the way I would do it is put it in brackets, so I remember to do it first, is do 30, add 8, and then double it, multiply it by 2. So 30 add 8 is 38, 38 times by 2, or 8 times 2 is 16, 3 times 2 is 6, so 76. Okay, so the answer to that question of 8 is 76 centimetres. Okay, moving completely on now. With this one, I would say if you find it easier to draw these shapes to find the perimeter, there's nothing wrong with that, okay? That's absolutely fine. I'm not going to go through these ones because you had a really good go at these questions or these ones. I'm actually going to move over to this side and I'm going to have a look at question 33 with you now, okay? When you do these ones, remember how many centimetre squares fit inside the rectangle is the same as finding an area, isn't it? That was what we done originally, where you have to count the squares to find it, so you need to find the area there. So I've just made a note of that there. Okay, so these ones here are more your word problems really. So I wanted to have a look at question 33, okay? So it says find the area, I'm going to circle that so I know it's area, not perimeter, of these rectangles described below. So I'm going to look at 33. So I need to find an area where the length is 16 centimetres and the width is a quarter of its length. Okay, so I need to visualise that because I'm finding that quite tricky. So I'm thinking of a rectangle then. So the length is 16 centimetres. This isn't drawn accurately, it's not drawn to scale. But I know the length is 16 centimetres, and then the width is a quarter. So it's 4 times smaller, isn't it? That is a quarter of 16. That's going to be 4 times smaller. It's quarter smaller. So to do that, that's quite tricky. So I need to think about what a quarter of 16 is. Now, we've looked at this a lot in maths when we was back in class, and thinking what a quarter means. So when we're finding a quarter, we know that's the same as dividing by 4. So we're going to do 16 divided by 4, which would give us 4. So a quarter of 16 is 4. So the length is 16 centimetres and the width is 4 centimetres. So now I need to find the area. So I can do 16 multiplied by 4. I would do that by doubling 16 and doubling 16 again. So double 16 would be 32. So times by 4 would be 64 centimetre squared. Don't forget a centimetre squared there as well, okay? So that would be that one. So think about what that question is asking you really carefully. Okay. The next question I wanted to look at was question 34 really quickly as well. So 34, the next one says the length is 3 times the width and the width is 10 centimetres. So we know the width here, this is the width, is 10 centimetres. But the length is 3 lots of 10 centimetres, 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. You can almost picture it like that. So it's 3 lots of 10 centimetres. I'm actually not going to tell you the answers to this one. I'm going to let you work it out using the method I've just shown you. Okay, so you would have to work out what the length is altogether. You've got the width, and then you've got to multiply it to find the area. Okay. Very, very last question then. Let's have a look at question 35, because this is where we need to remember what we do for the perimeter and what we do for the area. So if we know that a shape has a length of 7 centimetres and a width of 5 centimetres, again, it's not drawn accurately, it's just there to help me. So that's also going to be 5 centimetres, that's also going to be 7 centimetres. We need to find the perimeter and the area. So remember, the perimeter is the distance around the whole shape. So this is our repeated addition. This is where we can do 7, add 5, add 7, add 5. Okay, or we can do the way I like, 7, add 5, multiplied by 2. Okay, well 7 add 5 is 12. 12 times 2 would give us 24. So the perimeter is 24. A really quick way you could do it if you don't want to draw out your shape is do 7 add 5, which is 12, times it by 2, you get your perimeter, okay? Then remember with the area, you only actually need one of the lengths and one of the widths to help you. So you could take that width and that length, and then you multiply it. So you're going to do 7 multiplied by 5, which is 35. And then that is in centimetres squared. So remember that tip I'm giving you today with the difference between your area and your perimeter. Okay, we really look forward to see how you're getting on with these. I think we're going to be really good at these because you've done an excellent job this week with looking at area and perimeter. If you need any support, let us know by Teams or email.